In this video, I'll show you how to create a servo mount. So go on Onshape. So it's just yvhsonshape.com. yvhs.onshape.com. And then click Create, New Document. And then for this assignment, type in servo mount. Click Create. Okay, so click Sketch and click the top plane. Right click, View Normal to Sketch. And then we could hide the top, the front, and the right side. So click Corner Rectangle, and then from the origin point, just draw a rectangle like this. Okay, so the measurements that I'm going to draw first, or the measurements that I'll be using first, is the measurements for the servo. So here is the servo motor that we've been using, and then it has the dimensions, the length, the width, and then the height. So I'm going to just recreate the servo and the size of it. So going back here, this is supposed to be, so let me press escape and then click dimension, and then this is supposed to be 1.61, and then this one is 0.79. Okay, now it's fully constrained. Click check, and then here click isometric, and then extrude to a height of, it says here the height is 1.5. So 1.5. Extrude 1, check. So on the left area, you'll see it says part 1. I'm going to rename that. So right click, press rename, and then this is the servo. Okay, so I just created a simple version of the servo. Okay, to continue, I'm going to look at the bottom of my servo motor. So I'm going to hold on to the left or the right mouse button and then drag it. So hold the right mouse button and then drag it so that you could look at the bottom. And then we're gonna start a new sketch down here. And then right click, view normal to sketch plane. I'll be using the offset tool. So click on the offset tool and click on all these lines of the servo motor. And then click on the arrow and drag out. And then let's just give it 0.05 distance away. So 0.05. So away from the perimeter of the servo. And we'll do that one more time. So let's use the offset tool once more and then click on the line that we just created and pull it out. And then we'll give it a distance of 0.125. Okay, so click and then 0.125. That's 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now finish the sketch by clicking on the check and then isometric again. Now we're going to extrude that. Okay, actually, let's move around it and then click. So click on these. Okay, so I just click on all of those. And instead of adding, we are making a new part. And then we're just pulling it down by 0.125. Okay, so there should be a part 2 showing up down here, and you can only do that if you click new. So point 125, click check, and then there you go, part 2. Right click on part 2, rename it. This is our servo mount. Okay, and now next, go back to sketch 2 and show sketch 2 so that we could extrude that once more. And then this time, let's go click on extrude once more and click on that outline and then move up. So we're going to move up. And we're just adding it to the servo mount. Now the thing about the servo is if you look closer, it has this piece here that's in the way. So we cannot extrude it all the way up. Based on my measurement, if we create a height of 7/8 of an inch, so 7/8 or 7 divided by 8, we should be able to go up without hitting that part of the servo. So 7/8, click check, and that's that. Okay, so let's hide the sketch. So that's how our part looks like at the moment. Okay, also, if you look at the servo, we have the wires coming from the back part of the servo or the front part of the servo. And that is something that we need to cut out from our mount. Okay, so let's go back here. So let's sketch on this plane, right click, view normal to sketch plane, and then we'll draw a rectangle. So the rectangle should just touch this line at the bottom and then just go up like so. And then let's dimension that. This will be, dimension is just going to be 1 inch. Okay, so, and then this one should be 0.375 based on my measurement. Okay, so 0.375. And then we just want to center this between these two lines right here. Just center it on the servo mount. So I'll press escape. I'll click this line and then click the opposite line. And then right here, it says there's a parallel distance of 1.14 inch. So I'll go dimension from this edge to this line that I'm drawing. So it will be, so the distance is 1.14, right? So I'll put a parentheses, 1.14 minus this measurement, 0.375, 0.375, put a parentheses, /2 or divided by 2. And then what it's going to do is it's going to center it. Okay, so it centered it onto this part. So I'll go finish the sketch and then go back on isometric. And then now I could extrude it. Okay, but I'm going to remove. So I'll click remove. And then I am not extruding it blindly, but I'm extruding it up to a face. And then I'll click this face. So it'll just extrude up to that part. Check. Oh, let me do that again. So extrude. And then I'm removing. And then up to face, up to this. And then make sure you hit check. So I accidentally hit the X. Okay, there you go. Now I'm just going to add some fillets. So I'll click fillet and then click here. Okay, so I'm actually adding rounds. So I'm adding rounds here. And then I want to do that on the inside also. So I'm going to hide the servo. So hit the I. And then I'm going to click on the inside as well. This one. So I'm adding fillets on the inside. To just make my part stronger and it won't tear from that area if there's any pressure, any mechanical pressure coming from the motors, which isn't going to be really a lot. So this is more of aesthetic. So we just want it to look nice. So the radius for this one is 0.0625. So just type, if it's not there, just type 0.0625. And then click check. And that's how it's going to look like right now. Okay, let's go back to isometric. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a sketch again. And then rotate this to the bottom. Select the bottom part. And then right click, view normal to sketch plane. And we're going to draw our corner rectangle. So make sure that you're touching this line. And then just draw out like this. And then let's dimension. This one should be 0.75, 3/4 of an inch. And then this one would be 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to press escape to get out of the dimension. I want to measure how far this line is from this line by just clicking here and then here. And then it tells me that the parallel distance is 1.96. Okay. So press escape or click outside. Now I'm going to dimension here to here. And then I'll type an equation. So parentheses 1.96. That's how far it was from this edge to this edge. And I'll subtract the measurement of 1.5. 1.5. Close the parentheses, /2 or divided by 2. Now what I did is I just centered this rectangle between these two edges. Okay, so finish my sketch and then go on isometric. I'll rotate around this area. Okay, now I'll extrude it. Okay, we want it to go up to 0.125. So the depth is 0.125. And then we're adding it to the servo mount. Okay, merge scope to servo mount. Check. All right, let's add fillets again. So let's round this corner up. And then, or let's fillet that up. And then let's round these corners. And then this last one. Okay, so our radius should be 0.0625 as well. Okay, check. So that's how it looks like so far. And now we're going to create another sketch onto this face. And then right click, view normal to sketch plane. Okay, now we want to create mounting holes for this servo mount so that we could put it on the plates. And as you can see, there's a certain distance to these holes. So I measured all of the distances. And since we cannot be precise, or we can be precise, but we're just doing this fast. So what I'm going to do is instead of creating holes, we're going to create slots so that there's some wiggle room for us so we could easily connect this motor mount to the Vex pieces. So start a new sketch on this face, right? And then select line and then just create a horizontal line. Now press escape. And then here at the top where it says offset, if you click on that arrow, you could select slot and then select that line that you just drew and then just click. So this slot will show up. Let's change that dimension. Instead of 0.5, we'll type 0.25. Okay, press enter. And then click on the left mouse button to finalize your slot. And then let's go dimension. This line should be 0.25. All right, then we're going to add a dimension from this line to that line, and that should be 0.25 as well. And then from this line to this point is also 0.25. So there you go. So I have it in the place where I want it. We'll now create a pattern. So click here where it says pattern, select linear pattern. And then to do a pattern, we just need to select all of the parts of the slot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And just select this line as well. And then as you can see, this will show up and then there's an arrow. I'll pull that arrow back. And the distance between these two slots should be 0.5. So let me just double click there and then type 0.5. Enter. And then we want it to be 3 times. So double click there and just type 3 and then press enter. And then we just need to left click anywhere on the document. And then now we have 3 slots. Okay, so let's now finish the sketch. And then go back to isometric. Let's rotate it around this way so that we could see it when we extrude it. So click extrude. Select these 1, 2, 3 slots. We are going to remove from the servo mount. And then the distance is just through all. And then click check. Okay, so we have some mounting holes for this motor mount, the servo motor mount. And then we just want it on the other side. So that is just a mirror. So click mirror. And we are going to mirror features. So click features. And then let's select the features we want to mirror. We want to mirror this extrude. So click this extrude. Okay, so we want to mirror this extrude right here. Plus the fillet. Click the fillet. And we want to mirror this other extrude. Okay. And then, all right, it's asking for a mirror plane. So let me undo this first. Let's add a mirror plane first because there's no plane for us to mirror this features. So up here where it says plane, click plane, and then click mid plane, select this edge, and then select the other edge opposite it. And then now you have a mid plane. So it's a plane in between those two edges. So click check. Now that we have a plane, we could go do the mirror once more. So mirror. We are going to add, not make new. So we're going to add these pieces to our existing part. And we are going to select feature mirror. And then let's select the extrude 5, the fillets, and the extrude 6. And it might be named differently for you. It might not be 5 or 6, depending on if you, especially if you made mistake when you were sketching and extruding. But just select, essentially I selected this part, the fillets, and then also these extrusions. And then click mirror plane. This is the mirror plane, this one. Just click on that one. And as you can see, it mirrored to the opposite side. So click check. Then now I could just hide the mirror. Let me see if I could hide that. Just leave it like that then. So that's how our part looks like. I could turn on the servo again. So that's the servo in there. And this is our motor mount. I could go right click on the servo mount and then edit the appearance. And I could just choose a different color right there. So now this is what you are going to share with me. So you could click share here and then copy the link to this. Let's see, link sharing, and then turn on link sharing. Copy this to clipboard, and then go on Google Classroom, and then paste this so I could see your model. And then I could get this 3D printed for you so that in the coming project that you will be doing, you also already have a mount for your motor, and we don't have to use Vex IQ parts to constrain it in one place.